So eukaryotic cells are different from prokaryotic cells because the eukaryotic cells have energy-converting organelles, and the ones we'll talk about are mitochondria and chloroplasts. So mitochondria are responsible for converting energy within the food that's consumed into molecules of ATP. And ATP is what we're going to be using to build things and to do lots of things in the cell. So there are four structures that we need to know. One is the outer membrane. So we've got an outer membrane. We have an intermembranous space. An intermembrane space. Then we're going to have another membrane, which is the inner membrane. And finally, we've got the mitochondrial matrix. And I meant to draw these as I went. So we've got an outer membrane and an inner membrane. The intermembranous space, intermembrane space is in between all this space in here. You can tell that I certainly went to art school, my great mitochondria, and the matrix is in the very center. So what we've got two membranes, and we've divided the space into two different spaces. Now, in the diagram over here of the more realistic mitochondria that's actually drawn by an artist, you see that we've got crista. This inner membrane is folded in among itself so that the inner membrane has a large surface area. And we talk about how mitochondria work, we'll see that having it divided into two different spaces and having that inner membrane with large surface area is going to be important to its function making energy. Photosynthesis occurs in our chloroplast. And the important structures here are going to be the thylakoid. This is where the chlorophyll molecules live. The granulum, which are stacks of interconnected sacs. And the stroma. The stroma is the thick liquid inside the inner membrane. Thick fluid. Okay. So the thylakoid is one of the stacks. A granulum is a set of thylakoids. And the stroma is the liquid on the inside. And again, we have inner and outer membranes, just like we did with the mitochondria. And we're going to go to the PowerPoint. Oh, I guess we'll come down here first. So we have evidence that suggests that mitochondria and chloroplasts evolved from prokaryotic organisms. And so we start with an ancestor of eukaryotic cells. It has a nucleus, it has a nuclear membrane, and it's got some endoplasmic reticulum here. This blue is the endoplasmic reticulum, so it has some internal membranes. One day, it decides it's going to eat a prokaryote that has the ability to use oxygen to make energy, to make ATP. And instead of eating it, and instead of digesting it after it's been engulfed, the mitochondria just stays in the cell and continues to live there in a symbiotic kind of relationship. Later, the cell is able to engulf a photosynthetic prokaryote, a prokaryote that's able to use the energy from the sun to make food energy. And so now we have, basically this would be a plant cell, and this would be an animal. But having the mitochondria gave this cell a tremendous advantage. And I think that's it for this section. Oh, I know, I was going to go through, and if I can get my thing to come back up. The evidence that suggests that this is what occurred is that mitochondria and chloroplasts contain their own DNA. And it's very similar to a prokaryotic DNA. The ribosomes that are found in mitochondria and chloroplasts are similar to prokaryotic ribosomes. And the mitochondria and chloroplasts reproduce in a process that resembles prokaryotic reproduction. And that's all for this section. The next section will be the cytoskeleton and cell surfaces.